Just after the sun came up, armoured personnel carriers moved into this southern area of the red shirt protest site, and they have now substantially destroyed part of that barricade behind me. This is the largest barricade that they built at the entrances into that protest area. They made it out of tyres and also out of many bamboo sticks. The armoured personnel carriers moved in here. They drove along the front of this barricade and partially knocked it down anyway. At this stage, no attempt by those troops to actually go inside from this end anyway. There's been a lot of gunfire here as well. The troops are opening fire, not warning shots. These were live rounds fired horizontally across this barricade into the red shirt protest area. There were some return shots too coming back from that area towards the troops, and certainly the army that we spoke to here on the ground said that they could see some red shirts in there, red shirt guards, and they were armed, and that is who the soldiers were firing upon. Now, we are some distance here from the main stage, which is where the red shirt leaders are, and those couple of thousand red shirt supporters who remain. We're probably 2 kilometres down this road behind me, and so there was just hearing a few gunshots ringing out at the moment, Veronica, further inside. So perhaps some sort of fresh battle taking place right now. It has been quiet here for some time. The troops relaxing on the ground around me, regrouping after what a hectic morning, but certainly it sounds behind me as if things are starting to heat up once again.
Just pausing here, Wayne, to hear the gunshots, to give the viewers a sense of the tension, of the violence that is taking place live from Bangkok, being broadcast to the world. Because this is one of the questions that was being asked all throughout the rumours that we've been hearing. Would the Thai military go so far as to shoot on their own people from heavily armoured APCs with all the equipment they have? It seems as if some sort of operation has begun.
Veronica, if I can just interrupt you there, we're seeing an armoured personnel carrier moving back now from that front line. We're just moving the camera here. Bear with us if that picture breaks up a bit. We're coming to you via satellite.
No worries, we're seeing you now, Wayne. We're seeing that APC coming through. Is it clear what they're trying to achieve, Wayne?
What has happened? Well, this barricade here basically runs in an L shape along Ramapur Road here and then down this road here at the front of Chulalongkorn Hospital. Now, a few weeks ago, the red shirts moved their barricade just in this small section to push it back further down towards their main rally site. They did that to allow emergency hospital traffic to easily enter into the hospital grounds. Now, in that area down there, in that barricade, that is where they set fire to those tyres and those bamboo sticks about an hour or so ago. It was a substantial blaze which now seems to be under control. That armoured personnel carrier had been down there with some fire trucks, guarding those fire trucks, if you like, as they were putting out those flames. Also inspecting that area of the barricade for any explosives. The military fear that some of these barricades are booby-trapped, rigged with explosives, and a few days ago, the red shirt guards confirmed that to us as we were trying to cross through this barricade after we had cut through the red shirt protest area, and they stopped us and said, do not go through there. We have just put an explosive in those tyres. They didn't tell us what it was, what sort of explosive it was. So that is the concern for the troops here trying to deal with this situation. And they have been closely at times going up to those tyres and inspecting them, trying to find these explosive devices if there are more than one in there, and trying to defuse the situation, trying to make it safer if the troops should go inside there. At this stage, like I say, no sign that that is what they are going to do here anyway.
Wayne, it's so extraordinary for those of us who are familiar and who love Bangkok as a place to visit, to live, to see this area, which is like the West End, as it were, if you compare it to London or the Fifth Avenue or something like that of New York, to see it like this, a real combat zone. What I'm wondering is it clear from the Thai military, from the people that you've spoken to, from the actions that they seem to be taking around you, whether they're going to clear the area today? We've heard the fighting's going to go on for the entire day. Are they going to try and actually clear it, which would require dramatic, forceful action?
Sorry, Veronica, I lost part of your question there, getting some confused communication coming through. But you're right, this is a very important part of Bangkok, and these are extraordinary scenes for anyone watching this around the world who has visited the Thai capital. This is an area they perhaps would have come to. Many international hotels around here. Just a few meters down in that direction is an area called Silom, which is the main financial district of Bangkok. Many of the big banks are down there. And that is an area where the military have been concerned for some time that the red shirts may expand into there. And that is why we have seen armed soldiers in there for a few weeks. But further down in this direction, about 2 kilometers, is Ratchaprasong. And that is where the main stage has been set up for around 7 weeks now, where the red shirt leaders have been basing themselves. And that very much is a tourist area. That is where most of the big international hotels are based, a lot of big shopping malls. Now, these places have been completely deserted now for almost the entire time that those red shirts have been based in Ratchaprasong. Those hotels are shut down, the shopping malls are shut down, so it's costing the country an absolute fortune. So remarkable scenes now to see on the back of that, these military personnel moving in here with such force and trying to perhaps at long last bring some decisive action against these red shirts. Gunfire taking place in the last few moments. Behind me there were some troops carefully taking cover there and watching very intently into that red shirt protest area where they believed were some more people in there, perhaps some red shirt guards who the troops believe have been firing upon them this morning. If you can hear that audio, that speaker system broadcasting as well, that is the Thai military trying to talk to some of the media who have disappeared down this road as well to see the action, just warning some of the media there to be careful and to perhaps retreat back towards this position where we are. Also in the distance there, and I think our cameraman Justin is now just going to zoom in on the picture down there, is the barricade where the red shirts started that fire. It's reasonably under control at the moment, just smouldering away, but it was a significant blaze down there earlier this morning. They set fire to that section of the barricade made out of many tyres and also bamboo sticks. That is outside Chulalongkorn Hospital, a very large hospital complex in downtown Bangkok, a hospital too, Veronica, that the red shirt had raided at one stage because they believed that soldiers were inside. They never found any soldiers in there. So that fire seems to be under control at the moment. Those troops I mentioned have now retreated back beside me here, and it seems to be calm for the moment.
Wayne, my understanding is that Chulalongkorn Hospital was actually evacuated. Who remains in the encampment behind you?
In the hospital itself, some of the buildings are still occupied. There are still some patients in there, but those buildings, the large buildings on the protest side, you're right, they were evacuated. And it was really a PR disaster for the red shirts when they decided to storm in there. They were roundly criticized by many people in the Thai media and also other sections of society for doing that thing that night by going in there looking for those red shirt, for those military personnel who they believe were in there plotting some sort of attack against them. Like I said, they never found any soldiers inside there, and in the end they did apologize for their act.
Right, Wayne, but beyond that, at the encampment, there were some reports that there are 5,000 people at the actual red shirt stage. Some say only about 2,000, certainly numbers quite diminished, but among them, women and children.
Yes, a couple of days ago, there was a government estimate released that they thought there was around 5,000 people in there. I think over the last 24 hours or so, those numbers have been reduced by a big number, down to possibly as few as 1,000. Very difficult to say, though. There were a few still around that main red shirt protest area listening to those speeches from the leaders, as they've been doing so for more than 2 months now. And you're right, women and children did remain in there. However, a lot of them have gone to a safe house within the red shirt encampment, if you like, inside a temple where they will be safe from any military incursion that may take place. But once again, at this stage anyway, at this end of the protest site, we're not seeing any signs that those troops are going in, but we are hearing more gunfire, more small explosions taking place further inside the red shirt area.
Wayne, can you explain exactly what happened about 4 hours ago? Did it come as much of a surprise? Because what I understand is the APC started crashing through the barricades.
Veronica, if you just bear with us, moving camera position, we can show you some of those armoured personnel carriers and tell you where they came from, because they came down Rama 4 Road here towards the red shirt area at around 6 o'clock, 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. There was no warning really that this was going to take place, other than the many rumours that have been flying around since this protest started. It seems like every night there would be fresh rumours saying that tonight is the night, the military crackdown is about to happen, and certainly last night was no different. We had heard rumours, perhaps stronger rumours this time, that something was going to take place, and then as the sun was coming up, we were awoken to the sounds, the sights of these armoured personnel carriers thundering down this road. This road has been sealed off to the public for some time, so no chance that any members of the public here were going to be in any danger. It's been deserted here for a few weeks now as the military moved in to seal off the area. When they arrived here, there was a lot of gunfire that rang out. They fired a lot of shots into the red shirt area, trying to send a message to those who remained here. There were only a few of them to disperse, to get out. There were messages also broadcast from the military saying, this is your chance to move back now, giving them their last warning, if you like. But the APCs, as they're known, the personnel carriers, didn't burst straight in there. It took them some time. They drove along the front of it and destroyed the barricade in a large part, flattened it, if you like. They made several attempts at driving along the front of that, and even now they haven't completely destroyed the barricade, but they have flattened it substantially. There's a armoured personnel carrier right here, which you may be able to see in just a moment. The trooper's stuck his head out the top and asked us to politely move, which is probably the best decision given the size of these things. But I was explaining what was going on behind me. A soldier walked past carrying a small explosive device, or at least what they suspected was an explosive. Now we think that had come from the barricade that I was talking about earlier. The red shirt guards had told us a few days ago when we tried to cross through that area that they had rigged it with some sort of explosive device just a few meters in that direction. It's an area where the soldiers have been paying a lot of attention in the last hour or so. They've been going through the individual tires there very carefully. A special bomb squad was called in to deal with the situation, and if that is what he was carrying past, it seems as if they may have found that explosive that they were concerned about. The armoured personnel carriers now moving. We'll just follow the shots if we can and see where they may be heading to. It looks like they're going to continue down this road past Chulalongkorn Hospital. No, he's going to go along Rama 4. It is quite an amazing sight, and yes, we have spoken to a lot of Bangkok residents who do feel very sad about this situation. Impartial Bangkok residents, if you like. We're just going to try to move the camera once again as I continue talking to you, Veronica, because these APCs are now moving down Rama 4. Just try to see where exactly they are heading to. Once we get this camera settled, you may be able to see some soldiers now crouching on the road in front of those APCs, facing towards that red shirt barricade. That could mean that they're about to, for the first time, cross over. There is now a APC going through, Veronica. We can't see it at the moment, but if we move the camera once again through here, an APC has just gone through the red shirt barricade. You're about to see another one, I think, here. So the first armoured personnel carrier, the first troops, have now entered this red shirt protest area. An amazing scene here in downtown Bangkok. Another APC goes in, that's number 2. And troops on foot. There are 300 at least here on Rama 4 Road entering this protest area. They obviously feel now that this area is secure enough, safe enough for them to enter, and that the threat has now cleared, at least in this area, so that they can enter this protest area. The red shirts have been here for 7 weeks now. holding an area of downtown Bangkok, a very important area, remembering they were a couple of weeks before that at another area of Bangkok, Pan Phar Bridge. So they've been on the streets now of Bangkok for around 10 weeks. As we just show you again, these armed troops now filing down towards the barricade and entering the red shirt protest area. Well, they're armed with M16s, they're armed with shotguns as well. They have tear gas canisters attached to most of them anyway, which so far today we have not seen them deploy. But as you saw then, those troops now disappearing into the encampment. You can see behind me some of those tents. Well, those tents run for another 2 kilometers in there towards that main stage area where the red shirts have been camped now for around 7 weeks. So those troops now advancing up there, they feel this area is now safe enough for them to go in. Those 4 armoured personnel carriers that we have seen on the street here at Rama 4 have now also gone in. We're seeing another one just to the left of me doing some more manoeuvring. So a significant moment here, Veronica. If I look further down the road, may not be able to see it on this shot, but behind that APC you can see there is some smoke. Now that is down towards an area called Bon Gai, a scene where we have seen a lot of fierce fighting in the last few days. There is a pocket of red shirts down there who have been launching all sorts of crude weapons. We'll just have to move the camera again, I think, because this APC is coming straight for us, although it may also turn into the protest area. I was talking about Bon Gai down there, some of that fierce fighting taking place. We can still hear explosions coming from there this morning and gunfire, and that is a huge blaze down there now that we are seeing. It looks more serious certainly than just tires burning as we watch APC disappear through the thousands of tires and bamboo sticks into what has been red shirt territory now for 7 weeks, as we see that black smoke off in the distance. So as I was saying earlier this morning, Veronica, even if this operation is successful to clear these red shirts out of downtown Bangkok, out of Ratchaprasong, there are huge challenges, because we have seen over the last few days the red shirts expand their protest, and they've been setting up other small stages around the place, like in Bon Gai behind me. So there are still going to be these pockets of resistance around.
One of the features of this siege...
We're just going to show you a shot there, Veronica, of some stretchers being taken in. Sorry to interrupt you, Veronica, but the military down there obviously preparing for some wounded, some casualties, getting stretchers ready, etc. We're hearing reports there have been some casualties already this morning, but no confirmation of that as yet.